Okay, guys, we are day 6, healed from the plasma pen. You can see that the awful redness on my face is starting to fade. Almost all of the little crusty bumps have come off, so now I just need this redness to fade, which will happen over the next few days. Once you get to this point, it happens a lot faster. It's just making it here that's really hard, but totally worth it once again. So you say you can't cover your redness. That's what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to try to keep this short and sweet to help all of you guys. I get this message a lot from new clients telling me that they've got these issues, that their mascara makeup just isn't covering. And something that is beyond most people who are not in the makeup industry is color correction, which is basically looking at the color wheel and using opposite colors to correct what you've got going on. So for instance, greens will mute out reds, which is one of the reasons that I'm going to use the color that I'm going to use to hide all of this. Okay, so let me start by clipping my hair out of the way. I am not going to use any primers or liquid bases today. When you have like major color issues and texture issues, less is more. So I don't want a bunch of stuff on my face. I'm also not going to set with powder. I'm just going to use like the Morphe setting spray and keep it very, very simple. So what I'm going to use to start to hide this redness is Aspen Contour. Now the reason I'm using Aspen, number one, it's light. It's a very, very light contour. Number two, it has green undertones, so it is going to hide this redness beautifully, okay? So I'm gonna use the Best Blend Forever brush, or also you could use the Detail Hack, but you want that smaller domed end to really be able to stipple this in, okay? Let me try to get closer to you guys. There we go. Let me lower this a little bit. There, now you can see me good. Okay, so I am going to get a healthy amount. Usually I talk about just tapping. For this, we are really gonna load this brush up, okay? Get a bunch on, and then you're gonna tap it into the skin. And you can see right there, and I'm not just staying on the redness, I am going to the surrounding area as well, okay? And you can see how that's almost acting like an eraser. Do you see that? How that red is just disappearing? And yet I don't have this super dark area. And that is what we're gonna do. And I'm patting this in. I am not streaking it across my skin. I'm stippling it, and that is gonna help to camouflage the texture, because I do still have some dryness and some flaking from this plasma pen procedure. So if I was just to paint on this, it would just cover the tops of the dry skin, and it would look almost like cracked desert earth, like crackly and sort of cakey looking. But when you use a healthy amount of product and you pat it into the skin, I mean, look, that's just vanishing. That redness is absolutely vanishing. Hi, buddy. You can come in. Max just woke up from his nap. So I'm gonna come in here, and I'm just gonna keep doing that. Now, I've gotten a few messages from girls who say they struggle with redness. If you have normal redness, like really rosy cheeks or just a really pink undertone to your skin, that is not what this is for. That's just your natural undertone, okay? And there's nothing wrong with that. This is more for, do you see these deep purples in this redness? This is going to mute those out. So if you have really bad rosacea, or if you have busted capillaries, those little spidery looking veins in your face, a lot of people, I get them over here. I actually had them zapped. Some people get them here. Some people get them right in the front of their cheeks. This color is going to camouflage those beautifully. Now I'm doing this in real time. You guys can see that's what this looked like. And I'm just continuing to stipple that on. So here in a second, I'm going to speed this up for you guys so you can see me do the rest of my face, because I'm trying to keep this under about 10 minutes. This is a little more in depth, so my typical super fast hack is not going to be super fast, but it is going to be very good coverage, and it's not going to be heavy or cakey. Okay, half of my face is done. That's just using mascara's Aspen Contour and the bottom of this brush. You can see my face is like a mirror image. So I had the exact same markings on this side as I do this side. My makeup is not heavy. It is not cakey. It is not in my creases. It is simply color correcting that deep, deep red. Most people would want to go over something like this with like a lighter concealer. That is wrong. It is going to look ashy. It is going to look crusty. It is going to look flaky and gross. You want to meet the depth of the redness. A lot of times we'll also prescribe like mango or even papaya to help and hide redness. But I have found that for my skin tone, using Aspen for these deep, deep scarlet reds is the best cure. Okay, I'm finishing up. I've got almost my entire redness hidden. And the trick is, you, like I said in the beginning, you want to go outside the edges of your redness, okay? If you just dab this on your redness, you're gonna have these sort of shadowed areas. Whereas if you put it on your redness and then sort of bring it out past those borders, that's what's going to blend that. So if you look over here, I'm just gonna do inside the redness and you'll see what I'm talking about. I'm not gonna blend outside the lines right away. And you're gonna see that while that redness is gone, you still see that point there. Like, it's not red anymore, but the point where that redness stops is still there. Whereas when I go across it outside the borders, now it starts to vanish. So really focus on stippling this into the redness, but also blending outside those lines, because if you just stick to where you're red, then you're gonna have this aspen colored coverage that is just as obvious as the redness is. Whereas if you make the rest of the skin match, then it becomes almost completely camouflaged. So let me get up close and personal so that you guys can see. See, I've got like little busted capillaries here that I did not cover, but I can go in and get them as well. Look at that. I'm telling you, Aspen is like a cure-all. Okay? Can't see them. Can't see any of it. My face looks perfectly. I honestly could probably get away with just doing this, but I am going to go over this with my highlights. Now you want to do a little bit darker of a highlight than you would normally do. I typically work candlelit. I'm gonna go in with probably like sandy, and actually I think I'm gonna go in with amber. I used amber last night and it worked really well. So amber's like 2 shades darker than what I'm used to. I'm gonna go in with the fluffy end of the Best Blend Forever brush. This one, I really do recommend this particular brush for accomplishing this. And I'm just going to sort of stipple over, and I'm just sort of gently blending as I go, okay? So that's getting the rest of my foundation on. I'm going over what I've covered. And like I said, we're covering, and this is amazing. It won't be 100% foolproof. I don't want my makeup to be heavy. So like right here, you can see just the faintest little bit right there. No one is going to be close enough to me to see that. I am not concerned with it in the least. And then since I'm going a little bit darker with my highlight, I will go over my neck with just a little bit of Bella bronzer to sort of darken all this up so that I don't look ridiculously two-toned. And this is just me sort of going over everything very lightly, just very, very lightly. And once again, I'm sort of tapping and swirling. I am not brushing this brush because I have so much texture on my face right now. If I were to drag this brush across my skin, it would just streak everywhere. So it's more of a tap and swirl motion that is really going to make the big difference here. Just like that. Get my chinny chin. Come down. And honestly, I could just bring this down onto my neck too. This I can sort of streak down because obviously I don't have any texture from the plasma penning on my neck. And go up onto my forehead in between my horns and get some color there. That way it just has this nicely finished look to it. And yet it's not heavy or cakey or ugly or fake or plastic looking. It's just covered. Let me take this down a notch so you guys can see. Maybe. Where's my remote? Ah, there it is. See? So I'm just gonna bring that down so my face matches my neck. And I'm gonna go through and blend this out. And then I'll brighten just the littlest bit. I am going to contour, and we'll speed all that up.
You know you stopped me dead while I was passing by. And now I beg to see you dance just one more time. Ooh, I see you every time. And oh my, I like your style. You make me wanna cry. And now I beg to see you dance just one more time. So they say, dance for me, oh. I never seen anybody do that.
Okay, there you have it. Fully covered, doesn't look heavy, nice and natural, super simple, and you would never know that I actually look like a evil devil Catwoman. Mascara for the win, guys. One more quick trick. If you find that you're like me and after you have used either your Stay Spray or whatever setting spray you have, if you feel like you're still a little tacky because this is a heavier application, set it with some dry shampoo. This is my Launch Deja Vu. It's a clear dry shampoo. It doesn't leave like the white residue. And literally just close your eyes, close your lips, and blast your face with it. And that's gonna give you a powder finish without the heaviness that is like a setting powder. So one last trick for you. Hope you enjoyed.
So they say, dance for me, oh.